Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of Weather Plus by Billie. Today's date, December 17, 2022. And thanks for like, subscribe, and share. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for subscribing to YouTube and Rumble. Winter in Texas, it's going to be in the 20s next week. In the U.S., Arctic cold. In Texas, earthquakes. Some of my sources are God in the Bottle, Patriot Subscriber, Dutch Sheets, BP Earthwatch, Dutch Sense, Wages of the World, JWTV, ETN News, Steve Quayle site with the USGS Plus. So let's get started. Okay, I'd like to say thank you to some recent donations I've had to keep my channel going. Yeah, with this increased cost of internet equipment. Yeah, it's good. And my PayPal is still working so far. But I think the reason I wanted to get this new weather video out, and I'm going to do another one on the Ukraine update, is it does look like the weather's going to be turning. Okay, so I want to have a thank you to all my wonderful Patriot subscribers who support me with your words and donations for my channel. Thank you to CWG of Magnolia, Texas, the Wk-20's of Fulshire, Texas. These are just some recent donations. Thank you to a Patriot subscriber in Chamalin, Minnesota. Thank you to J. McG of Auburn, Alabama. Oh, thank you for the silver from DW in Elberton, Georgia. And thank you to Robert Kringle and Dinah Woods and so many others. Okay. I have a friend who on Facebook who is giving the local price from a local grocery store chain in Texas, HEB. Recently, I bought 18 eggs for $2.89. Yesterday, on December 16, a pack of 18 eggs cost $10.48. And yeah, the JB actor puppet avatar for the deep state says there's no inflation in the U.S. And yet I was in a pawn shop yesterday. I heard that was a good place to go to get older videos because I like DVDs that are about 10 to 20 years old. And I thought, well, I'll go there and see if they have some movies I like. I did find a 3-pack of the Alien movies. They sell them for $1 each. But while I was in there, I was noticing people are selling household items out of their garage, talking about how much inflation just to buy groceries to put on their table to feed their families. So yeah, when we hear from our U.S. government there's no inflation, there's rampant inflation, and now I believe it's approaching 30 to 40%. We can see weekly increases in the cost of our groceries, and yet there's no corresponding increase in our wages. It's not. We'll have to pray for a prosperous new year. We need that. Okay. I have a Patriot subscriber who says, I believe God's going to control the nukes. I do too, and I think the White Hats, but it's back and forth, so okay. And thank you for the information about the Arctic cold. Yeah. And I have a Patriot subscriber. Pray for my son. He's a new commercial driver, and he is stuck up in Fargo and Minnesota with the weather, and they say it may be several days before he could get back to Kentucky where home is. Well, we'll pray for him. Patriot subscriber, thank you for the information about the cold in Oklahoma. She's talking about last year when it was minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It was unreal. A second time would be catastrophic. I'm sorry to say it may be coming. And in Texas, we had that information from Mike from around the world that this winter 2022 and 2023, so we would say December, January, February, probably our worst months. It could be twice as bad as what we had in 2021, which was really hard for we people in Texas. All right. I have a Patriot subscriber who's had a question about the information I put out about a knight being discovered underneath Notre Dame Church when they were repairing a fire damage, who was from the, I think, 14th century and had a elongated skull. And I said he was a Nephilim and Anunnaki. And so my Patriot subscriber has questions about that. I'll be covering a little bit more about that in this video. Excuse me. I have a Patriot subscriber. I'm glad I found you. I've been trying 3 times. Yeah, I know. This is my 3rd YouTube channel. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Okay. I have a Patriot subscriber. Yeah, we are having snow in Indiana. I have a Patriot subscriber, Lone Wolf, in Fairbanks, Alaska. And he's saying, so I'll do a map on this. And yeah, we're going to be praying for blessings for 2023. We want peace and prosperity. Okay. So now I brought up that information that we had this cold front coming from the Arctic. And here is Russia, Siberia, Alaska, and the U.S. And here's Texas. Okay. So that the cold front was going to come in and be moving here. The prediction is for it to be on the East Coast by December 25. And the predictions are the coldest since the 1980s. We could see minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit along the East Coast, where 2/3 of the U.S. population lives. Now, so this cold front would have come to Alaska first, and Lone Wolf in Fairbanks, Alaska, right about here, is saying on yesterday, which would have been December 16, in Fairbanks, it was minus 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, 17, it's minus 24 degrees Fahrenheit. So we can see it's coming in. Now, we have had a change in our forecast for Texas, and I've been wondering about this. I think part of this, I think there are genuine Arctic fronts coming down from the polar area, and I believe that that could be part of that space object in space or in our solar system impacting the Earth, and our electromagnetic shields are weak. We're getting more of a cold impact. I believe that. There also could be geoengineering going on. So we got both of them. Now, in Texas, Ryan Hall Y'all, who I consider to be an expert, several of the sources I use, I'm really impressed with their knowledge of weather. And Ryan was correct, and he was giving accurate information based on the models he was getting. And I agree with Mike Morales, also an independent thinker, weather guy, that those models, we may not be getting accurate model information. I agree. And then we add in geoengineering, which can change the models that were based on nature, on God. All right. So Ryan Hall, y'all, just maybe about 5 days ago, was given based on the models, he was doing an accurate job, and it was going to be warm during December for Texas. And I'm on the Gulf Coast, so which would be the warmest part of Texas. He was going to be warm in December leading up to Christmas, maybe about like 60s or 50s, not cold. Okay, suddenly we've had this big change in the Arctic coming, cold front coming in. And yesterday we had predictions. So on December 16, we had predictions for the Texas Gulf Coast to be next week, Christmas week, in the 30s. I wake up this morning, December 17, down to the 20s next week. So we see things are changing, and it's good to take notes, stock up, and gas and cash and food and medicine and pet food. Oh yeah, it was Israeli News Live Stephen Ben-Nun who said later in December, like the second half of December, a nationwide shortage was predicted, but he gets this information from the Pentagon for baby formula and cat food and dog canned pet food for cats and dogs. So yeah, that's going on now. So it's cold. I have another Patriot subscriber who's talking about the F-35 plane I covered, that little crash in Fort Worth. And he said the F-35 is not a bomber. It's not big enough. It's light. If it was, excuse me, going to carry a nuke, it would be tactical, which would mean a small nuke. Okay. So now we got this going on. And I'll show you, because we can see, and so all across the United States we can continue with this forecast, 40 degrees below Fahrenheit, and so it's going on and we see changes taking place. Now we'll get to this. So we have, this is USGS. In Texas we had yesterday, this is my little drawing of Texas. Okay. We had about here in Midland, Texas, we had an earthquake that was a 5.4. That's a pretty heavy duty earthquake for us. Now, a few weeks ago, we had one in this area that was, and so this happened on December 16. It was at a depth of 8.2 kilometers, which is about 5 miles. And we have, a few weeks ago, we had one in Foremost, Texas. That was also something like a 5. Similar depth here. Now, we're hearing that this was a wastewater injection area for putting wastewater deep into injection wells. My thinking is that could be a factor, but I believe this is due to that space event impacting the Earth, and that we have geologic seismic activity going on. Now, we have this, because when this occurred, what we have the North American tectonic plate that goes all the way from the Arctic and then North America down to Japan, Cuba. So this is the tectonic plate. Now, riding on the tectonic plate is what we call like a craton. And it fits over the U.S. and it's the crustal part. So we have tectonic plate. On top of it, we have the Earth's crust called the craton. In Texas, we have the craton in this area of Texas. So this is the craton. When we had that earthquake a couple of weeks ago in Foremost, Texas, BP Earthwatch put out a good video, and Dutch Sense also had some good information implying that things are moving and that the craton could actually be moving. So we have tectonic plate, crust, and then moving in that area. I agree with that. Now we have some more information coming out from ETN News. He's talking about Idaho, Montana, what other state was he into? Wyoming. He's talking about, and I'll link his video for you, soil temperatures in these areas going somewhat in a line, and I believe they correlate with intra-craton heating. So we have heating inside the earth to the tectonic plate, up to the craton, and then up to the soil level where we're living. So ETN News is documenting heat rising in this area, only beneath the ground, 18 to 40 inches deep, and he's documenting 70 to 80 degree temperatures. So that's soil temperatures, 70 to 80 degrees, and yet we know this Arctic cold front has already come down into these areas. So we shouldn't be seeing soil temperatures that shallow, 18 to 40 inches deep, in the 70 to 80 degree temperature, should we? And we're not seeing it come down from the atmosphere, we're seeing it come from inside the earth. And I submit we can look forward to increased earthquakes and volcanoes, and that goes along, I think, Mike from Around the World, and other sources, Israeli News Live, Dutch, and God. God was the one in 2020 said, the earth was heating up, pay attention to the edges of the tectonic plates because you're going to see magma rising. So, yeah, so all that's going on. So when you hear it's all man-made, the climate, the seismic activity, I don't believe it. Okay, a short blessing. And this is, and thank you for your support for me for these. I'm on my 3rd YouTube channel since 2020, and God gave me that assignment. Get out there and tell the truth in my area of expertise, which is life, earth science. So, okay. A blessing from the Old Testament, Numbers chapter 6. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his face on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. And we say, Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we can pray for America and all nations around the earth, and especially blessings on all the children of the earth, and ask for God for a prosperous, a healthy, a peaceful 2023 for America and all nations. And it's good to remember God is in charge. He is on the move. I love you, and I'll see you soon.